Welcome back. Very often on Liquid Lunch, we have great guests in all different fields. I almost every week have on attorney Jonathan Bell, employment attorney, and he's been talking for months now about the different liabilities workers will face and employers will face when people are allowed to fully come back to work. And we're joined right now by Stephen Moore, economist, former Trump economic advisor. And Stephen, this seems to be one of the things that the White House Economic Recovery Task Force is looking at very closely to protect business owners because they'll just be out of business from lawsuits soon, right?
John, you're exactly right. And this is one of the hang-ups in the negotiations that are going on now between the White House and Pelosi. You know, Pelosi and many of the Democrats are in the hip pockets of the trial lawyers. They see as this coronavirus pandemic as a jackpot for them to collect these huge lawsuits and huge judgment awards that they get, in some cases 50% of the money. And so Pelosi doesn't want to do it. Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell feel very strongly we have to provide this protection to workers and employers. And by the way, workers will benefit by this because we estimate you could create about 1 million additional jobs if the employers aren't worried about these lawsuits. One other quick thing. We all agree that if an employer acts negligently, and they act, in a way that has been reckless, then absolutely workers should be able to sue the employer for negligent behavior. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people randomly getting sick and then, going to a trial lawyer and the trial lawyer says, hey, I can win you $1 million judgment. Yeah. There's no way businesses can function.
Right. And then they just start running commercials saying, hey, if you got sick in a Walmart, call me, right?
That's exactly right.
And I'll tell you, Stephen, I was helping out a local community bank sift through all this PPP stuff, right? And I was on some of these calls with the SBA and the FDIC, and all the banks wanted a safe harbor, that they wanted to rush the money out and, protect us, tell us that if we don't do every bit of underwriting perfect, you're still going to pay us back on this loan guarantee. And the Democrats had no problem giving the banks a safe harbor on that so we can get money out there.
Well, that's exactly right. And, on this liability issue, I think what's really important is that this actually benefits workers because if you put, the trial lawyers are just a tax, right? They're just a tax on the economy. And so if we estimate about $100 billion could be saved with this initiative to have this liability shield. Well, guess what? That $100 billion means more jobs and higher wages for the workers who are employed because, if you hire a worker and you think there's a chance that, you're going to have to pay a huge lawsuit, you're going to take some of that out of the wages of the workers that you hire.
Right. And also you're going to assess the person. Well, my God, he has 6 kids and a wife. If I'm going to get sued, I'd rather hire this single guy over here because it's going to be less, you know what I mean? You almost have to weigh your liability. Most small business owners, like the ones that watch our network, entrepreneurs, they don't want to have a new calculation to make. How much will I get sued if I hire this person and reopen? It's pretty crazy.
John,
you said something. Yeah, go ahead.
One other quick thing, if I may. We've been focusing on the lawsuits of workers potentially against employers, but there's another element to this that's really important. So this is a big deal for our hospitals, our rural hospitals, for nursing homes, for assisted care living facilities. Many of them are really financially strapped. We're seeing potentially hundreds of rural hospitals will have to close. If they don't have this liability protection, you're going to see a lot of nursing homes shut down. You're going to see a lot of rural hospitals shut down. And by the way, where are we going to put, our seniors when they get old? And if the nursing homes are shutting down, there's already a shortage of these. So this is an issue that's going to hit potentially every family in America. I have elderly parents, that are in assisted living, and those centers are hard to get into. It's going to be much harder if we don't have this liability protection.
Yeah, and it's sad. Stephen, I know you got to run. Thank you so much. It's sad. One of my mentors, he was like a disciple of Warren Buffett. He always used to say, JT, watch out for rent-seeking behavior. And to me, that's what the Trial Lawyers Association is. They're always engaged in rent-seeking behavior, and Nancy Pelosi seems to push that agenda all the time.
They're a cost of doing business.
That's right. Stephen Moore, thank you so much. You're always a pleasure to have on, and I thank you for taking time for us.
Thanks, John. Bye.